Eyes was released in 1990 for the NES. It is a 2D action platform game made by the immensely famous Thinking Rabbit. The first thing you'll notice is that the game bears a striking resemblance to the Castlevania games, unless you haven't seen those games, in which case you won't notice that, but trust me, it does. And that isn't a bad thing really. The level design and even the bad guys are all quite familiar. However, your task isn't the same. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic future. All the nukes and Mountain Dew have caused the planet to be in ruins, but luckily there are 8 powerful jewels owned by the Great King who is using their power to rebuild. Typically though, there is a power-hungry bastard who decides it's a good idea to steal the jewels and use the power for himself, banishing the king along the way. Quite why you do this before the world is back to a properly livable state is beyond me, but then I guess bad guys would win more often if they had brains. As the player, you take control of Orin the Falconer and his fighting falcon Citrus? I fucking know. His mission is to penetrate the Duke's 8 castles and retrieve the 8 eyes with the help of Citrus? Yeah. You must fight the Duke's soldiers, nuclear mutants, and the Duke of each of the castles to retrieve the jewels. After the jewels have been recovered, you can return them to the Altar of Peace, so that the Great King may return and finish rebuilding the Earth. So the game consists of 8 levels, each set in the castle of one of the Dukes. At the completion of each level, Orin receives a new sword, and the player can choose to play each of the first 7 castles in any order. However, the boss at each end is only vulnerable to one of the swords that you get from each of the previous stages, so it's easier to play them in a particular order. This is clearly inspired by the Mega Man games, and works quite well. There are hints about the correct order hidden throughout the game. Only after each has been completed can the House of Ruth, which is where you need to take the jewels to, be played. After the House of Ruth has been cleared and the 8 eyes recovered, the player must return the jewels to the Altar of Peace. At this point they have to be put in a particular order, otherwise it's game over, just to make it bloody harder. Something that makes the game unique is that it has a cooperative mode, where one player controls Orin and the other controls the bird. In the single player mode, the player has limited control of both of these, making it very difficult. The game itself does play pretty well, and when you finally get used to it, it is good fun. However, it is bloody hard, and it's recommended that you have a good friend over to control the Falcon. If you're a fan of the Castlevania games, this is definitely a good one to pick up, and it's tough, and although it can take a while to get into, it is actually quite good fun.